Imagine standing at a crossroads in history, when the world seemed to change so fast it left people dizzy. The 1950s in the United States were defined by more than prosperity and pop culture. They were shadowed by unfathomable menace. Among the most secretive and audacious of all Cold War projects was Project Sundial, largely cloaked in classification, but with intentions that remain almost unthinkable even today. Its purpose was not to win a war, but to end wars entirely, through the threat of a single nuclear device so powerful it could extinguish human civilization itself. Consider the sheer scope of what Sundial set out to become. Its destructive force was estimated at the energy of 10 billion tons of TNT, the equivalent of detonating the bomb dropped on Hiroshima every minute for 15 months. If built, it would dwarf the Great Pyramid of Giza, an edifice 13 times as tall, and create a mountain of explosives greater than anything humanity has ever conceived. For context, this one bomb would possess the energy of over 3,000 times all the explosives unleashed during the entirety of World War II. The entire concept bordered on the mythic in its proportions, yet it was engineered with cold and deliberate logic. Its birth was the culmination of a decade defined by fear, innovation, and a willingness to take risks on scales previously unimaginable. To truly grasp how such a project became possible requires understanding the era's whirlwind transformation. An American who had been 40 years old in 1945 would have been born in 1905, a time when monarchs still ruled much of the globe. Horses outnumbered cars on city streets, and electricity illuminated only 3 out of every 100 homes. In those early days, wars were costly but relatively limited, and the notion of machines for mass annihilation scarcely seemed possible outside science fiction. Then, across just a handful of decades, the tempo of progress hit a frenzy. By the end of World War II, jet planes streaked overhead, television flickered in living rooms, and atomic bombs had left indelible scars on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Entire cities could be erased in an instant, ushering in an age where geography no longer protected anyone. The psychology of the age shifted overnight. The sense of vulnerability and awe at these new weapons was so total that it overwhelmed governments and citizens alike. Within this rising anxiety, the logic of international security bent and twisted. The explosion that ended World War II wasn't taken as the closing note to violence, but rather as the overture to a new, more terrifying era. Those who did not possess nuclear arms now seemed insignificant in the balance of power. It was little surprise that, in a moment of fleeting idealism in 1946, the United States presented the Baruch Plan, offering to dismantle its weapons and share nuclear knowledge under a strict international framework. But this gesture, however noble, floundered in realpolitik. Soon after, in 1949, the Soviet Union detonated its own atomic bomb, unveiling just how porous the veil of American technological superiority truly was. Fear permeated every calculation, and the response was escalation. Nuclear weapons proliferated at an astonishing pace. Just 9 warheads in 1946, 300 by 1950, and more than 20,000 by 1960. The fevered rush to develop ever greater bombs became a macabre contest, with each side eager to demonstrate its capacity for horror. It was expensive, scientifically taxing, and riddled with risks, but leaders on both sides pressed forward, convinced only overwhelming arsenals could secure peace through terror. Into this cauldron stepped Edward Teller, a Hungarian-born physicist of immense intellect and even greater ambition. Early in his career, Teller helped bring the atomic bomb into existence, but soon he was obsessed with surpassing even this apocalyptic creation. To him, the only true safety was the absolute deterrent, a weapon so vast in its destruction that no one could contemplate challenging it. Teller's arguments found fertile ground in the paranoia of the 1950s. The military, reeling from Soviet advancements, gave him carte blanche to pursue what would become the hydrogen bomb. Unlike the first atomic bombs, A hydrogen bomb operates through nuclear fusion, the same process that powers the stars. Fission ignites the reaction, compressing a secondary capsule of fusion fuel under forces so immense that for the briefest moment, a man-made sun blazes out of control. The first test vaporized entire islands. Soon thereafter came bombs thousands of times more destructive than those dropped on Japan. For some, such spectacles were the ultimate proof that war had changed forever. For Teller, they were merely steps toward his ultimate goal. He imagined a device so catastrophic that it could stand as the final word on military posturing: the world's destroyer, Project Sundial. Though specifics remain hidden inside forbidden folders, enough details filtered out to chill the soul. Sundial's concept was not born merely from technological hubris, but from a conviction that such terror could act as the last safeguard, the ultimate doomsday deterrent. The envisioned weapon would not ride atop a missile or plane. Why bother moving it? The logic was stark. If the bomb could obliterate the world from anywhere, you need only keep it at home. Whether it was destined for the heartland or the middle of nowhere, the bomb itself would contain the whole planet's fate. A monolithic assembly, perhaps. Did you find our videos helpful? Please like and subscribe to our channel so we can be motivated to answer the questions that people are still wondering about.